Aujourd'hui, voyons 16 prépositions de mouvement. Today, let's talk about 16 prepositions of movement. Hello everybody, it's Coach Joe, your English coach. So, without further ado, let's get started. But first, do you know what a preposition of movement is? D'abord, est-ce que vous savez ce que c'est qu'une préposition de mouvement? On les utilise tout le temps pour marquer le mouvement. Ok, c'est tout. Vous avez certainement besoin de ces prépositions pour vous articuler en anglais convenablement. Donc, c'est une leçon qu'il ne faut absolument pas rater. All right, everybody. So let's get started. The first one is to. Alors, j'ai fait de petits croquis pour vous aider à visualiser ce que c'est que ces prépositions de mouvement. Donc, to, vous voyez le cercle et la flèche vient vers le cercle. Donc, ici, vous allez utiliser to. For example, I took my friends to the club. This is the club. This is us. We went to the club. Does that make sense? Another example. Did you go to the movies yesterday? Okay, aller au cinéma, c'est to go to the movies. Did you go to the movies? The circle represents the movies, okay? Or the movie theater. If you want to say theater, don't put an S at the end of movies, okay? The movie theater. All right, number 2, from. Now, it is the same exact design, but you see where the circle is relative to the arrow, right? La flèche, c'est the arrow. The circle is here. The arrow is going from the circle. It's not going to the circle, but going from the circle. So here, Kyosha, the example, Kyosha comes from Japan. The circle represents Japan. Okay, here is Kyosha. Kyosha comes from Japan. Another example, I usually run to the gym from home. And this is true actually. I run to the gym from home. I do not walk. Okay? I usually, ça c'est usually, ce n'est pas usually. Don't say that. It's usually run to the gym. And so here I used this preposition and this preposition in the same sentence. You can use multiple prepositions of movement in the same sentence.
I did not know that.
So here, I usually run to the gym. This is the gym. I run to the gym from, meaning I leave here. This is my starting point, from home. Does that make sense? Or from my house. If you want to replace home by house, then you need a pronoun here. Okay? You cannot say from house. You need to say from the house or from my house. So you can use an article or a pronoun. Number 3, into. So here I drew a box. Okay? This is a box. And then this is the opening, l'ouverture. This is the opening of the box. You see how the arrow is going in the box. So here we will say in and then to. It is the same thing. In is the same as into most of the time. All right, so here, example, my mom walked into the room. So here, the box represents the room. And my mom is over here, and she walked into the room. Or, don't get into trouble. Why did I use this example? Because here, the box represents trouble, okay? So you don't get into trouble, meaning don't enter trouble. Does that make sense? So here the arrow entered the box. Do not enter this box, which is trouble. The box represents trouble. Don't get into trouble, okay? Number 4, out of is the opposite of into, just like from is the opposite of to. So once you know to, you know from. Once you know into, you know out of, okay? So here you can also say, did you get out of your troubles? Okay, to get out of trouble, to get into trouble. Opposites. But I chose different examples to illustrate. The first one, I'll get out of the office at 10 p.m. Ooh, I remember back when I used to be an investment banker, I would get out of the office around 11 p.m. or midnight. Sometimes when there was a lot of work, I would get out of the office around 2 in the morning. So 10 p.m. is still early, all right? To get out of the office. Okay, example number 2. Can you get out of that situation? Okay, so here the box is the situation. Can you get out of that situation? Make sense? All right, so far so good, right? I know you like it. And it's okay to forget to do something important. What is that thing? Like this video, share this video with all your friends, subscribe to the channel, and of course, press that notification bell so that you never miss my future videos. Let me wait for a second while you do all those 4 things. All right, let's keep going. Number 5, on. This is very easy. Matter of fact, I'm sure that you already used this preposition. You just did not know that it's called a preposition of movement. All right, let's check it out. This is the box, and you see how I drew the surface of the box red. So this thing is laying on the box. Example, can you leave the money on the table? The money is on, this is the table, the money is on the table. Does that make sense? Example number 2, the bird, the bird pooped on my head. Sometimes people say that it's a sign of good luck.
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
No. I refuse. The bird pooped on my head. Do you know what poop is? Faire caca. Okay, faire caca is poop. Okay? So, poop, P-2-O-P. Et ça, c'est le passé simple de poop. Pooped. Ne dites pas pooped. No. All right, let's continue. Off is the opposite of on, just like out of is the opposite of in, just like from is the opposite of to. Does that make sense? All right, off. The cat, and here you see that the arrow is leaving the top of the box. Example, the cat jumped off the kitchen counter. The kitchen counter is where you put the food, the utensils, and everything else. It can be wood, it can be granite, it can be anything that you want it to be. All right, so, or marble if you're rich. The cat jumped off the kitchen counter. You can say counter or you can say counter. So, guys, if you have not yet watched my video on the 4 different T's of the American English, I urge you, I encourage you, I plead you to watch that video immediately after this one. Si vous n'avez pas encore regardé ma vidéo sur les 4 T de l'accent américain, je vous supplie, je vous encourage, ok, à aller regarder cette vidéo juste après celle-ci et vous allez comprendre pourquoi j'ai dit counter, ok, counter. Number 2, example number 2 with off, this tattoo is permanent. It will not or it won't come off. Donc ça, to come off, c'est-à-dire s'enlever, okay? To come off your skin. Make sense? All right. Preposition number 7, up. You see the triangle, you see the arrow, this is self-explanatory. Don't run up the stairs. That's what I tell my son every single day. And I have to keep repeating this for the next several years, and that's okay. Don't run up the stairs, Cody. It's dangerous. Okay, you can fall if you run up the stairs. Example number 2 with up, I climbed up the hill, la colline. I climbed up the hill effortlessly, sans effort, parce que je fais de l'exercice physique, n'est-ce pas? I climbed up the hill effortlessly. All right, preposition number 8, down is simply the opposite of up. For example, did you ride your bike down the road? Okay, maybe the road is like this. Did you ride your bike down the road? Or can you walk down the stairs without help? Maybe the person had been at the hospital for a while and finally she came home and you're just making sure that she can walk up and down the stairs without any assistance. All right, makes sense? So think about the prepositions as helping the verb directionally. That's all the preposition is doing. Think about it as the preposition is the pilot and the verb is the plane. So, without the pilot, you don't know where the plane is going. It is the same exact thing for phrasal verbs. Verbe à particule, phrasal verbs. All right? Number 9. Do I still have to repeat for those of you who have not yet shared this video or liked this video or subscribed to the channel or press that notification bell? Should I push you? Should I stop here for 20 minutes before you do that? Just go do that. Likez la vidéo, partagez la vidéo, souscrivez-vous à la chaîne et activez la cloche de notification pour ne jamais rater mes vidéos prochaines. Number 9. Along. Ok, donc ça devient un peu corsé ici. Mais vous allez voir, à partir des croquis, vous allez voir que c'est très facile en fait à comprendre. Along, here you see the red marks here, and then you see the arrow just going here, really close to where this is, okay? So this is along, preposition of movement, along. Example, we walked along the beach last night. When you use along, that means that you are following a certain line on the sand or on the ground. It can be an imaginary line or it can be a real line, okay? So here, the beach has a line, which is the line between the water and the sand. We call that the shore, okay? So we walked along the beach last night. Make sense? Example number 2. I ran along a scary trail yesterday. Trail, c'est sentier. Scary, c'est ça fait peur. Okay? I ran along a scary trail yesterday. Makes sense, right? Listen, if these prepositions don't make sense, or there is a preposition here that does not make sense, do me a favor, write it in the comments, and then I will go back and explain it to you, and I will add more examples. Does that make sense? All of this for free. Oh my goodness. So if I were you, I would do exactly that. S'il y a des prépositions ici qui ne font pas de sens, mettez-les en commentaire et dites-moi exactement ce qui ne va pas et je vais rentrer dans les commentaires, je vais vous aider et ceci gratuitement. Si j'étais dans vos souliers, j'allais faire exactement la même chose. All right, everybody? Number 10, through. Ok, d'abord, c'est pas true, Through, no, no, no. Through. You see my tongue? You see my teeth? Through. Ok, c'est pas trug. Le GH ne se prononce pas. Trug. No, no, no. Through. All right? Very good. Now that we understand how to pronounce it, what does it mean? Well, look at this box. Look at the arrow. The arrow comes here, enters the box because you don't see any line here, and then comes out the other side of the box. Makes sense, right? It should make sense. All right, if it doesn't make sense, let's read the 2 examples. Example number 1, the bullet, la balle de pistolet ou de fusil. The bullet went through the wall. So if this is the wall, this is the bullet, and then comes out the other side. The bullet went through the wall. Make sense? It makes sense now, right? Very good. Example number 2, let me walk you through my thought process. Why did I use this example? Just so that you can understand that we don't use through just for physical things. My thought process, c'est ma pensée. Okay? Ou le processus, comment je suis en train de penser à ce sujet ou ce projet, etc. C'est comme si je vous fais marcher dans mon process. Vous voyez, ça c'est mon process, la boîte représente mon process et je vais vous emmener dans mon process, on va sortir de l'autre côté et dès qu'on sort de l'autre côté, vous allez dire « Wow, je comprends maintenant votre process ». Does that make sense? Alright, so let me walk you through. Americans love this expression, to walk someone through something. So please learn this phrasal verb and start using it, most importantly. Okay, what is the use of learning something if you never use it? You don't use it, you lose it. So use it if you don't want to lose it. Make sense? All right. Number 11, across. Can you swim across the river? Well, let's look at the drawing that I have here. You see this? This is the river. I actually drew the river here so you can see as I illustrate this example. All right, so this is the person that I'm talking about. And I'm asking the person if they can swim, nager, if they can swim across the river. Across means from one side to the other, okay? Across is from one side to the other. by touching whatever it is. All right, maybe touching or not touching, but you go across it, okay? Example number 2. This does not use any verb other than the verb to be. So it doesn't have to be a motion verb, okay? It can be a stative verb, all right? This is a stative verb. The verb to be is a stative verb, meaning it doesn't move. It just is. All right, for example, I am in Paris versus I am going to Paris. Does that make sense? I'm going to Paris implique un mouvement. I am in Paris implies a state. That's why we call it a stative verb or stative verb. The pharmacy is across the street from my office. Ça, c'est office, ok? Si vous n'avez pas vu la vidéo sur les 45 acronymes que les Américains adorent utiliser, allez regarder cette vidéo, vous allez comprendre, ok? All right, so the pharmacy is here, my office is here, the street is here. The pharmacy is across the street from my office. Make sense? Pharmacy is across the street from my office. Pharmacy is across the street, pharmacy here, office here, street here. Very good. Number 12, towards, avec S à la fin. I'm making my way towards my goals. All right, towards is very confusing to understand because why use towards if you can use to, right? It's like, all right, why am I using towards? I can just use to. Well, let's check it out. To is over here. I took my friends to the club. That means that we arrived at the club, right? To the club. Here, you see where the arrow is? You see where the club is? And then you see the dot, 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 dot. That means in the direction of. All right, so towards means in the direction of. So let's go back and read the example. I am making my way, meaning I'm getting there. I'm making my way towards my goals. My goals are over here, I'm over here, and I'm making my way towards my goals. Make sense? Example number 2. Maybe we were in a safari. Where's a safari? Maybe we went to South Africa for a safari, and the person said, the lion started walking towards us or towards me. Ooh, I don't know what I would do. The lion started, ne dites pas started. No. Started walking towards me. What would you do if a lion started walking towards you? Put it in the comment for me. I'm sure you're going to say something like, oh, I'm not going to do anything. But yeah, I don't know. You might start running. But if you run, it's going to be worse. There's going to be a lot of blood. Okay, let's continue. All right, let's finish this up really quickly. Okay, number 13, over. The thief climbed over the fence. The thief climbed over the fence. Barrière, fence, okay? All right, so if you don't understand that sentence, just look at this. This is the fence. C'est ça la barrière. This is the thief. He climbed, il a grimpé over the fence from one side and then on top of and then landed on the other side. That's what you mean by over. Make sense? Listen, again, if any of these prepositions do not make sense right away, write them in the comments. I will go read your comments, explain it a little bit more. If it still does not make sense, go to YouTube and search specifically for that preposition. And I guarantee you, after watching 2 or 3 videos, you will understand it. All right, so the thief climbed over the fence. I can't believe the dog jumped over the wall. Maybe it's a very tall wall, but the dog managed to jump over the wall. And so I'm saying, I can't believe it. All right, number 14, under. You see this drawing? This is under. It's under this. My hand is under my palm. Make sense? The cat crawled, a rampé, crawled under the table. We sat under a tree. There's a tree here. This is us. We sat, on s'est assis. We sat under a tree to catch our breath. Okay? Pour regagner notre souffle. Whew. Maybe we had been walking all day and finally we sat under a tree to catch our breath. Ça, c'est breath. Breath, okay? All right, number 15, around. You see the arrow? Around. It goes like this. Example, they drove around the block for 15 minutes. Around the block, presque le quartier, mais c'est pas tout le quartier en fait. The block, c'est juste une route ou un groupe de routes en fait. The block, all right? Around the block for 15 minutes. What goes around comes around, okay? What goes around comes around. This is how we talk about karma. If you do something good, you send something good out in the world, it comes right back around to you. Make sense? That's why we should all do good things. All right, let's finish off, man. Wow, this has been good, right? I know this has been good. You know this has been good. I know that you know that I know that you know that this has been good. So, you know exactly what to do. Subscribe, share, like, and activate the bell. Let's finish. Number 16, past. I drove past your house last week. This is your house. This is me. Your house is here. I am here and now I was here and now I am here. I drove past. The house is here. I drove past the house. Okay, the house is static. It doesn't move. Make sense? I drove past your house last week. I'm willing to look past your mistake. All right, so again, whatever you drive past or you walk past or you run past doesn't necessarily have to be something physical. For example, your mistake is not physical. I decided, meaning I'm willing to, je suis prêt à ignorer. Donc, je passe comme ça, j'ignore tes erreurs. Je suis prêt à ignorer, okay, tes erreurs. I'm willing to look past your mistakes. All right, everybody, listen, I know that it's a lot. I understand. But trust me, if you go back and watch the video again over and over, you will start to memorize naturally these prepositions. And again, if you have any questions, you know where to find me. I am not far. I'm right there in the comments. It's Coach Joe, your English coach. Thanks for watching.